let's go back in time before 2010. What were you doing, and just a little bit about those days of your life?
So I finished my education, higher education in the US. I did my MBA in finance and moved back to India in 2002. And I started a hospitality business. Uh, didn't do that well. And I used a lot of my family money to fund that project. And winded up in India and moved to Dubai in 2008. 2007 and 8 is when I started traveling a lot to Dubai before taking the decision that I'll make this my permanent base. Initially, I'd just come for a couple of years, like everyone else, thinking that if how will it work for me? Will it work or not? And uh, God was kind. I was probably in the right place, not at the right time because 2008, the initial days were good, but I moved to Dubai as an investor, started investing whatever money I had, little money, and I'd come out basically to settle my some kind of a rental income so that I can figure out my way that what I want to do. And but then the market crashed, and it was not the best time to be in Dubai. Uh, Minute I had started, I got a big jolt. That, but then uh, within a year, I figured out that it was also a time of opportunities. Pre 2008, the market was really inflated. 2006, 7, and 8. I didn't know anything about real estate back then of Dubai. But when I came to 2008, everybody was already talking about that the market is heated up, the market is heated up. Then the Lehman Brothers fiasco happened. Post that, by middle of the year of 2008, you could see the jolts in the market. Uh, I thought maybe I'm in the wrong field, wrong industry, but beginning of 2010, I started to see this as an opportunity.
So, did you lose money in 2008?
No, I did not. I invested into a property which was getting ready at that time of the uh, during 2009, and I took my handover. I put my properties on rent and started my journey. And that's where I learned that I learned what all was happening pre 2008, what was happening in the market, uh, why things happened, why did suddenly the need of RERA was so much more than ever in any other market, because the market was getting regulated, and it was a very interesting time. For those of all who believed in Dubai, that was a brilliant opportunity. Uh, I got a hold of some investment opportunities which are rare. I have not witnessed anything like that till today. Uh, to buy bulk units at minus the cost of the developer by 40%, uh, that was a steal. And me and a few of my friends, we got together and we believed in a concept that we are buying this real estate not to sell. This is just for rental yield. But as early as 2012-13, all of these assets were more than 140, 160%. Because very few people remember that, but 2012 to 2014, there was a sudden boom.
Yes.
The market moved in a very positive way for the right developers like Imar, Nakil, obviously. Uh, I remember I'm talking about the time when issues were in Syria, in Libya, in Egypt. A lot of money was coming.
True.
A lot of investors were coming. It was not any boom which you can compare it to today, but definitely people who were active in the market, it was a very good sign. It was a time when people had started buying, started back in believing in Dubai. Uh, but yes, the early days were very different from now.
So, from being an investor to a real estate guy, so I mean, what inspired you to make that change?
So very soon I realized that real estate brokerages in Dubai can actually make more money than the investor himself. A lot of people in the industry will agree with me on that. Uh, This is a dynamic market. You know, I don't know how many people know this, but in 2024, I'm giving you a figure for today. In 2024, the off-plan sales of entire India was less than Emaar. The Dubai freehold off-plan sales were 6.5 times more than the sales for India, with a country of 1.4 billion people. That is the dynamism of this market. You have more than 192, I believe, nationalities which invest into Dubai.
Yeah.
And this makes it very unique for the real estate brokerage companies in Dubai. It's not a small number when you talk. People today are talking about billions like nobody used to speak about millions like that. But a billion dirhams of sales is a decent amount of sales. It's almost $300 million.
Yeah.
So, and there are tons of company now who do above a billion. It's not a few. So, as individuals, people do $1 billion sales in a year.
Correct.
So this is the power of Dubai real estate market. Why I became from a investor to starting my own firm is very clear. Capitalization, growth, the amount of people that were coming to Dubai and were moving. Obviously, the numbers are very different now. Those are very tough days, but those tough days prepared us for today. We got to know, we made mistakes, we learned from those mistakes. We got to know where to invest, what not to do, and similarly guide our investors in the same way. And you have to build this over a period of years. Nothing can happen overnight. Even people who start a company today, they might be lucky initially, but you need to have a track record. There is a cycle. An investor will come to you, he will buy from you, he will assess his investment over a period of years. How did it perform? And that is only when he's going to trust you and recommend you. It's an organic process. Anyone who tries to beat the process or have shortcuts, it's not the right way. They will never be successful.
You started as an investor, then became a real estate guy. So you could kind of understand the thought process of anybody coming to you to buy a property because you started, that way.
Exactly. You understand what is the mindset of an investor. You have to think like an investor. If you're not one even, you have to think. This is what I tell my people every day. Think like an investor. Think like it's your own money. Where would you invest your money? How would you treat your money? That is how you have to treat your investors' money. It's an organic cycle, as I said. Trust cannot be gained overnight. Reputation takes years to be built. And that is what we have done. The earlier days between 2012 to 2017, the numbers were very different from today.
So, yes.
Developers were not doing these kind of numbers. So, last year, the sales for Emaar, the entire group was 66 billion dirhams for Dubai. A few years ago, it used to be 8 billion. For us, in 2018, I think we closed 90 million as total sales of it. Like maybe 95 million and 90 million was Emaar out of it. We were only working for Emaar those days. And we were on cloud 9. We thought that we have achieved such a big number. Today you close that number in one day, or maybe double than that in one day, and it feels like a normal day. Because the market has grown exponentially. Everyone has grown here. Each and every person who's been committed and is a part of the market, be it a developer or a brokerage firm, and they've done the right thing, they've got these results. I was hearing, it was such a pleasant thing to know that Shobha, as a group, was targeting close to 35 billion this year. I was there when they first did 1 billion in total sales, which was post-COVID. So it's a very interesting market. Companies have grown from a sales staff of 30 people to 600 people.
Yeah. This could be controversial, although I don't like controversy. when you look at these numbers, huge numbers, 60 billion, 70 billion, and there are maybe 3,000 agencies or 3,500, even the land department doesn't know, don't report it. So, do you think the market, if you look at the market share of agencies, do you think maybe 30 agencies or 50 agencies kind of control the whole thing and others just surviving?
That was the case back in the days. I would not consider it today. Today it is so transparent. And this is where I appreciate the Dubai Land Department, the government developers, the private developers, the big ones like Shoba, Damac, all these big developers, specifically the way Damac has risen exponentially, like, master communities, sold out 9 billion dirhams of sales in a day. What they've also done is they've given everyone an equal platform of opportunity. Today, when people come and say that, no, this brokerage is 15 years old and no, it doesn't make any sense. The developers only care for what you do. The numbers speak for yourself.
The legacy doesn't matter.
Legacy does matter. It does matter when it has to, when you're portraying yourself, your image, obviously your track record. Nobody can take it away from you.
Sure.
But there have been a lot of companies who were big 5 or 7 or 10 years ago. You don't hear about them anymore because they lost the plot.
Sure.
They missed the bus. But having said that, today nobody has an edge over the other one. That if you have a client who wants to come in and buy 5 buildings, the developer is not going to do anything that, okay, I won't sell to you, but I'm going to sell to this. No, this. That all thing is out. It's gone. I know there are 3 or 3,500 agencies, but yeah, I would say 60% of them are just surviving or managing or trying to embark and make a point of something. But no, the others, it's all an equal set of opportunity. If you have it in you, if you have the clients, if you have the business, developers give you an equal opportunity to perform. It's completely transparent. This is something which is very well appreciated by the market. Yeah, maybe few people might not like it that they have a legacy and they should get an extra, but why should anyone get any extra advantage over the other one? I know some very young individuals who used to work for developers. They started their own brokerage and they have done phenomenally well in a short span of 2 to 3 years. So I know people who have, personally I know somebody very well who used to work as a head of sales for a big brokerage company in Dubai, which still people think, and he started his own company and is 5 times their size.
So just coming to that part, since you mentioned sales people from the developer side, okay, they're also brokers at the end of the day, but with limited resources. Do you think any developer can survive without the brokerage fraternity?
I don't think that is possible. A lot of this has been tried pre-COVID, and the markets were not very good at that time. It has been tried, but no. And this is where one of the key success to Dubai real estate. Because I'm Indian and I come back from this, so I keep using it as a example to cite and to compare. This is how we all do. It's a give and take relationship. Brokers are an essential and integral part of the Dubai real estate system. Even if a developer tries to hire 1,000 people, they still need that brokerage force because of the faith that the investor has in this broker. He will trust his opinion and the broker is going to take this client to the developer. Also, the way in which the developers treat their brokers is very important. how you get paid. Probably one of the fastest paying cities in the world is Dubai to its brokers. I would say if you finish your documentation and everything, it's between as early as 2 weeks to 6 weeks.
That's right.
That's it. See, the broker is working for that reward. If that reward is delayed or denied, it's partly denied. You know, everyone is working for money. And in our industry, people are working on incentives, only commissions. So it really is important that you get paid on time. You know, I'll show you something. I don't know if you want to see this or not, but Damak, a very popular developer.
It's a check.
And no, this they didn't even tell us. It was not a part. It's a gold coupon for 10,000 dirhams,
Yeah.
just given as a gift. It was not promised. So now this for an agent is a motivation.
Yeah.
They had no announcement or anything. Once the transaction was completed, they announced that we'll give you per unit a gold coupon. Now, this is just a way to motivate somebody you respect.
True.
And I believe Damak takes the lead, but the Dubai developers, they are very, very well versed with it. They know how to respect their brokers, and it's. I don't think the market can operate without that. No, as many as you hold, because you see, what the broker does for you is, he does not limit you to one developer. You have the opportunity to have a window of the whole market. A broker takes the entire effort. Sometimes people say, "Oh, what have you done in this deal that you deserve?" He will take the investor to every single viewing, to go to the developer sales office, to show him everything, to make sure the paperwork is in place, to make sure the payments have happened, the whole transaction is completed. It's a lot of hard work.
True.
It doesn't look like, but then it is.
And it costs money also.
It does cost a lot of money. Marketing is not free. These offices don't come for free. You have to pay a lot of salaries. It's a whole organic process, and this is where some companies go wrong when they go overboard, and they expand in a manner where the fixed costs are very high, and that's a double-edged sword. So you don't know. You're often asked this question: why don't you scale up and you bring your employees to up to 500, 600? It's easier said than done. A lot of time you realize these companies are only operating. They're not making money.
So yeah.
Eventually, you are measured in real estate with what you've done for yourself. A lot of time the investor comes and asks you a question: what have you done for yourself that I should follow your advice? You're an owner of a company. You've been running business for 15 years. And that's a very tricky part to be in. And that's a very valid question. If I was an investor, I would ask that question.
You are managing a big team of brokers, and you give them tips, and you give them, ethics, and everything. You have to treat the customer like this, that, etc. But in a situation where a client comes to one of your brokers, and there are three projects by three different developers, and X gives them 5% commission, Y 6%, Z 7%. Okay? And the broker is confused. But at the end of the day, he or she wants money, right? Because they don't have salary, they have nothing. So what would be your advice to your broker if he or she is confused? Because I would go for 7% because that will give me more money. Maybe that's not a good property for my client, but I'm getting 7%.
No, there is no doubt in what one has to do here. The broker himself knows what he has to do there. He or she has to choose the right project, check the pricing on all the three projects, and there can be a possibility that developer which is paying the highest commission can be the better project. But no, they have to choose. You have to think for, I earlier told you this, you have to think like an investor. You have to think about your investor. If you are not taking that call today, it's a very short-lived business. It's a very short term. You can make this 1, 2, 3% more for a short period of time, not over a period of years. Your investor once bitten, twice shy is never going to come back to you. It's very rare I've ever seen that an investor has been advised on a certain property where he's not happy with the results, he will still continue with the same broker. So you have to really, when your investor is coming to you for the first time, actually you have to be not 100 but 110% sure of what you are advising them on. You just don't sell them anything. Something you don't believe in, you don't do that. Over the last 10 years, I don't know how many times I have just said no, that I don't think. The investors come to me saying, this is what I want. My job is just to take him there and get my money. And I've refused. I said, no, that you really want to do this, it's okay, but I don't believe in this. And then I have my own reasons of why I don't believe in it. If they agree with me, it's good. Then they respect you for what you've advised them on. For everything, if an investor asks and you say yes, then you're not a consultant. You're not advising correctly. You have to share your opinions. If you don't believe, see, everyone cannot do everything. Every investor cannot buy every product that you recommend. But your opinion has to be there. And that is what makes you different from the others. If you believe in a certain community, let's say Dubai Hills, which everyone knows has done so well, and you've recommended your clients over the last 5-7 years on that community, they will respect you for that. But another community which is 30 minutes away or has not done that well, you cannot just sell something because you are making money today. It has to be very, it's more than ethics, it's your morals, how you have been trained or how you wish to practice real estate.
One thing I've been noticing, I would say 2012, 13, 14, 15, a lot of office projects, a lot of commercial projects getting launched. Now I attend at least 3 to 4 events every week. Even today there's an event. All residential. I mean, what happened to the office projects? Not very often. I mean, I don't know when was the last time. Maybe
Commercial, if you've been of office space, commercial space, it is at an all-time shortage
Yeah,
currently. A lot of people are launching.
because nothing in the pipeline also.
No, but Omnia just launched a project called Lumina,
Yeah, and Danube launched a mixed project.
mixed project.
Yeah.
There's a project by the name Robe by Earth Developers, which is. Yeah. I'll give you an example. This is Opus Tower by Omnia.
Yeah.
In about 2021, we moved here. It was at about 1400 dirhams a square feet. It makes completely sense to buy an office space if you intend to use it for the next 5-7 years. 1400 dirhams a square feet is a good price to buy. We did not buy. We rented it. We went and bought this at 3000. We bought the next office at 4000. And we thought, okay, this is for our own use, so we'll never have to sell it. So hopefully, this is a good investment, but for self-use. Today, this office building is selling at 6,000 dirhams per square feet. Omnia launched a next new project in front of the metro station at 5,000 dirhams a square feet.
Launched.
Sold out. Sold out. Commercial space is at an all-time shortage.
Why do you think?
Because there's no supply. Now, that's a very good question. Why? Earlier, Dubai was being considered as a speculative market. So people would come and live here for some time. They were more concerned about residential space and to rent residential space as a rental income. For the first time in the last 4 years, it's actual people on the ground. When your population has doubled or more than doubled, these people who have come and moved to Dubai, the millionaires that you're talking about, the high net worth individuals who moved to Dubai, Everyone needs an office. Even if somebody has no operations in Dubai, they need a family office. They need a place. And suddenly, spaces which were renting at 80, 90 dirhams per square feet have gone up to 350 dirhams per square feet. Today, if you want a big space of office, which I say big space means above 3,500 square feet, above 350 square meters or 300 square meters or 400 square meters, there is nothing. You have hardly any availability to choose from. So according to me, there will be scarcity in commercial space, office space for the next 5 to 6 years, because any building which is not either launched last year or this year, it will take about 4 or 5 years to come up, being handed over. Commercial will do well for another 5 to 6 years, undoubtedly.
Now, I mean, it happens every time. Whenever Dubai starts growing or booming, whatever you call it, then comes the negative talk, right? Now it can, the bubble comes back all of a sudden, makes a reappearance, puts doubts in everybody's mind, and that's happening right now, and fueled by New York Times report, this, that. So you've been through this phase, recession. You already probably that was the worst, and then Corona, of course. Now, how do you prepare your mind and prepare your people, especially, because a lot of the brokers that you're dealing with, they could be new. They have not gone through that phase like you did. So how do you prepare yourself in the first place and also your team, just in case? I'm not saying about a crash, but cooling off will happen. It should happen for any market. So how do you prepare?
First of all, I'll answer the first part of your question.
Yeah.
You said reports. A report came couple of months back.
Yeah.
Any report that comes out, what is the basis of a report?
It was baseless actually.
Yeah, it's data.
No.
Any report should have data.
Assumption.
So if you could predict that this is going to happen, then stock market is your best option, right? You could predict that this will happen, then every investor should be a billionaire. It doesn't happen like that. I only believe in numbers. And how do you prepare your people? Even if they use this word, which does not exist, bubble, is what is the basis of anything? Any illness also which comes to you first gives you symptoms. It gives you alerts. It gives you signs. Are there any signs in the market right now? That is any properties being offered to you at minus pricing? Which I'm not talking about one or two rare projects which are, that is primary. I only talk about the main players of the market. Secondly, a report also says 21,000 millionaire families are moving from England to Dubai because of the new non-dom policy which has come over there, and people are forced to move out because they won't be spending more than 89 days in England, and it's a complete tax policy. There's a lot of people, a lot of non-British passport holders who were living in England are moving out of England. Does that also mean that Dubai is going to go 2x, 3x? No, we are not pitching that from here. The thing is, I don't see yes, there can be a cooling effect. The markets can slow down a little bit. Sales can be lower for a few months or higher. Is something going to crash or a bubble? The word is wrong. The terminology is wrong because of what has happened sometimes in the past. People keep wanting to repeat it. And you know who's the biggest problem? Are the people who've been in Dubai since 2008 or before. They are the problem makers. The thing is, people who have seen Dubai post-COVID, it's actual people on the ground now. Yes, where there were less number of people and I would say there's no actual end users, I would have doubts. Today, if you have a decent property anywhere in Dubai, it cannot be vacant. Be it commercial space, can never be vacant. Be it residential, it cannot be vacant. Yeah, if you tell me the property is 18 years old and you've not taken care of it, that's a different chapter. But if the property is in good condition, anywhere in Dubai today, it cannot be vacant. What does that tell you? It tells you that there are actual takers for it. It's not speculation. I don't believe in this that it's like kind of people who want to pull Dubai down all the time and talk negative because probably they were not a part of this journey and they somewhere or the other have missed the bus. You know, if you know, no, this place is not going to do well because we did not. It's not like that. The policies here, the infrastructure here is unparalleled. It is an investor-friendly market. It's the easiest place on the planet to buy a property. You can be sitting anywhere in the world and you can buy a property. And I am doing a transaction today where one of the buyer is in Asia, in a country, and one of the buyers is in England. And they're buying a joint property in Dubai. Both of them not being present here. It's a decent asset, above $6 million, and they're buying, and they will not move from their space, and the transaction will be completed before the end of the day. It's the easiest place, it's the most transparent place in the world to buy a property. And with all the data available online, I don't see any of the market who has this kind of transparency.
And plus, whichever country is going through any kind of issue, the funds are, the first destination is Dubai. By default.
Why? The thing is, people don't ask this question, why?
Yeah.
Is it a joke or is it's something like just everyone decided one day that we have to move to Dubai? It is what Dubai did post-COVID. It is the principles on which Dubai follows. It's a very strong case. You have to think about it. Nothing has happened on its own. It's the leadership of Dubai. Dubai is blessed to have His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid as a ruler who has taken care of its people in the way it has. It is a blessing to be here. Travel anywhere in the world and you talk to people over there and you come back here and you should count your blessings that you're in the right place. I was in Europe last week and one of the person was complaining to me about, oh, you know, Dubai must be very hot and you're here. Just check the temperature over there. You and me are sitting in 18 degrees right now. You can check it. You cannot get this anywhere in Europe. Looks beautiful outside to me. Because this is the way I'm seeing it. There is no city next to this. Your money is not safe. You're investing in dollar terms. The currency is pegged to a dollar. If you're an Indian and you brought any money any time in the last 15 years, your investment is only higher by 7.5% every year because of your money being in dollar terms. And if it is more than 15 years, you already 2.3 times your money is already 2.3. If you brought your money in 2010 from India, it was 42 rupees to a dollar. It is 86 now.
Double, yeah.